Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Indo-German Live Talk, and please give a very warm welcome to our guest today. It's Tannishtha Chatterjee, live from Mumbai.
Hi, Stephen. Hi. Absolute pleasure. Thank you for bringing me on board today.
And I also would like to introduce my co-host. This is Raman Jaswal. He works for Radio Abner Frankfurt, and he's live from Frankfurt. Hello.
Yeah. Hi. Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting, and thank you, Tanishta, for joining the chat with us today.
Hi, Raman. Absolute pleasure.
Yeah, Tanishta, my first question is, how are you? How are things going in Mumbai during lockdown? How are you? How is life?
Well, when it began, I was kind of relaxed. Oh, wow. Okay. This is I mean, we all thought it's a sort of a holiday. And just before the lockdown was announced, the last 1.5 years before that has been a very, very hectic period in my life, in my career as well. Both in my personal life as well as my professional life. I made a film and we were traveling with that film. I adopted a little girl, so I'm a new mother. I'm directing a new series on Amazon, the third season of a series called Four More Shots, Please. So we were in deep neck in pre-production just before the lockdown was announced. We were actually supposed to start filming in the next week or so, and the lockdown was announced. So I had a very hectic 1.5 year before this thing happened. So my initial reaction in the first 2 weeks was, oh wow, let me relax a bit. But now that it's been so many weeks, it feels like so long. And though I do spend, it's a boon for my daughter and spending time with my daughter, and my parents also live actually quite close by, so I visit them quite often, and they also sometimes come and visit me. That's the only social life that I have, visiting my mom and dad and them visiting me. The rest is on Zoom, like their chai parties on Zoom. A lot of writing is happening during this time. There's a lot of connection in terms of thoughts and ideas. But to be honest, in the first few weeks of the lockdown, I couldn't think. I just didn't know what was going on. The world had changed so suddenly that anybody who came up with any idea and said, oh, this is a great time to write and ideate and great time for writers, read. But I just could not read anything. I couldn't watch anything. I unsubscribed from all OTT platforms. I just couldn't think of anything but what's going on with the world. Like, what is this? How is this even possible? Is this really, is it real? Slowly in the last couple of weeks, it has sunk in and this has become the new normal. And now things are how they are. And in India, we all have domestic helps. And the lockdown has actually stripped us of that help, which is a huge thing. So we had to learn, a lot of us had to learn how to do just day-to-day work at home, which has taken a lot of time, and it does take a lot of time. And from us, we've never done it. I have never done it since my childhood. So learning how to just mop and do the dishes. I mean, thankfully, I have a dishwasher. None of my friends have that. It's only because I lived in London for 5 years, and when I came back, I just thought that it's just an easier thing, and my domestic help can probably do the dusting, and I mean, it eases her off certain burden, and I got a dishwasher. But none of my friends have that, and they all, whenever they talk to me, they're so jealous. They're like, Tan, don't talk about it. But it's just that basic thing, when I talk to a Western audience or a Westerner, I mean, I've lived abroad for many years as well, so I know that difference there. But not just doing your own work at home takes a lot.
Yeah.
So Raman, yeah, you have a few questions. Maybe you might like to go on.
Yeah, sure. Now, first of all, I would like to mention one thing. I mean, This is the first interview Radio Apna Frankfurt is doing with the celebrities. I'm really excited about it today. So thank you very much again to Stefan and to Tanishta for connecting with us today. Now, Tanishta, we have done a little bit of our homework here. Yeah. So, well, we understand that you were born in Pune in Maharashtra to a Bengali family. You majored in chemistry at Delhi University. Then you studied at National School of Drama. Well, you are a trained Hindustani classical vocalist as well. Not many people probably know that you have actually sung at Royal Opera House in London, where a lot of people, they basically dream of singing there, right? You are a writer. You are a fantastic actress, a director as well. Well, first of all, people want to be one of these characters, and you are all in one package. Well, how did you manage all this? Yeah, that's a big question for me.
I don't know. You have to ask my mom and dad. I think it's very typical of Bengali families, to have exposure to the arts right from your childhood. So, in spite of the fact that I studied chemistry and I was a science student, and you know how Indian middle class thinking is in school and in college days. My entire family, not so much my mom and dad, but my extended family, my teachers, everybody would say that, oh my God, Tanishta is so good in academics, so she should go for science, she should become an engineer. So, like everybody else, even I thought, okay, I'll become a scientist, and like many of my friends are. But there was that streak that also was, the hobbies that we were nurtured right from our childhood, that actually my mom allowed us to nurture. She was the one who always encouraged music, dance, painting, going for concerts, all these things. And then, of course, at a later stage in my life, and my sister also used to dance. She learned Bharatanatyam, and I learned Hindustani classical music. So from music, I slowly ventured into drama while I was in school and in college. Like I used to do amateur theater and joined some really good groups in Delhi with Barry John and Joy Michael, Yatrik. These were the really good groups, theater groups, amateur theater groups that were there in Delhi. And I did theater, and my singing always sort of took center stage there. Whenever there was a musical, I was called. And that's where actually it is from singing that I started getting interested in acting. And then at one point, I did a workshop in National School of Drama in one of my summer vacations when I was still learning. I mean, I was still studying chemistry. And I enjoyed that workshop so much. And the professors who were teaching in NSD in that workshop, who conducted that workshop, they all told me that, you're a performer. What are you going to do in some cold lab in the United States studying chemistry? Just come here. And that sort of workshop that changed my life completely. And when I shared it with my parents, they were apprehensive in the beginning because they always thought that science is a profession and arts are the hobbies, singing, drama, that's a hobby. My dad, especially because my dad's an engineer, he just said that, I mean, drama, like, what's the future in it? Are you going to do an MBA after doing that? So he actually thought that, oh, it'll be interesting after studying chemistry, you study drama and then do an MBA, you'll be great asset for a company. And after I graduated from National School of Drama, for a very long time, he kept pursuing me and pushing me to take up my GMAT and do an MBA because he thought it would be a very interesting mixture of, but luckily after National School of Drama, one thing led to the other. I got a lot of films, and I moved to London for a few years, which is where I did this stint with the Royal Opera House. I did
Royal Opera House.
Yes. So it's been a very non-planned and a beautiful journey of an artist.
Yeah. Now I would say we thank actually that NSD workshop that we got to see you on the big screen and the amazing work that you have done. Well, just to add to that now, one question. According to Tannishtha, what is the best thing that or the best character that defines her? I mean, is it the writer, the singer, the actress, or the director, or the chemist? So what defines you?
These days, I'm trying to be the chemist who was studying everything about drugs and disease and pandemics and all. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's everything together. I think my background in science helps me in many ways in my life as an artist as well. So I think it's everything. I don't know how to pinpoint. I enjoy all these things put together. I think a lot of performing artists have always done that throughout history. You see that most performing artists, be it in the West or in India, like if you look at Parsi theater, they were singers, they were dancers, they were directors, they were writers. They used to do everything. And it wasn't this playback singing thing in Indian cinema actually came a little later. But when we had the tradition of Parsi theater, when you have a tradition of live performance, you have to sing, you have to dance. A lot of those performers in their later lives, or some people start right from the beginning. They write, they direct. So I think it's something that it's about the urge to express. So we express ourselves in different ways, whether it is through music or through a story or through an anecdote, or here through an interview that I'm talking to you. We will share thoughts and ideas. It's about expressing. It's the desire to express, and human beings have that ardent desire to express, and we just use these different tools. And I've been lucky that I'm able to use all these different tools and also put them together.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Tanishta. Stefan?
Yeah, and Tanishta, so after having acted in so many fantastic films and having done so many fantastic characters on first-hand and foreign films, now you have written and directed your first films. What did you drive to that? Can you explain a little bit what was the initial idea behind doing now, after all that time in acting, was writing and directing your first film?
So again, Rome, Rome, May was not something that I was planning for a very long time, or it wasn't something that I thought that, oh, I just have to do. And I struggled for 10 years to make a film. A lot of my filmmaker friends have that story. It wasn't one of those things. Yes, I think writing was always, in the last few years, have been a part of me. I acted in a film called Parched a few years back. And the initial idea of that film actually came from me. In many of my travels through Gujarat and Rajasthan, I met some women and I found their stories very compelling and interesting. And I shared that with the director, Leena Yadav, who's a friend, one day while we were having dinner, and she got very excited. And then we went to those areas and we met those women. And that's how it actually started ideating in her mind through stories that I told her. So stories, collecting stories and writing stories have been a part of me in the last few years, especially when I've been traveling for various different shoots and meeting people for researching my own characters. But to actually codify it and make a film was an accident. Again, a beautiful accident. Nawaz, who's a very, very well-known actor and one of the finest actors actually India has. And I have worked with Nawaz in many films as co-actor. And he's also my senior from National School of Drama. So we share a lot of sort of, common grounds, interests, the way we approach acting, the way we look at arts and storytelling. And we were shooting a film called Lion together once, and generally discussing in our idle time, as actors do, about life, poetry, music, stories, the films that we like. And from that discussion, I told him a story that had a sort of reflection on something that happened to me in Venice. And he was like, oh my God, that's crazy. It really happened. I'm like, yeah. And he said that, why don't you write it? Because this is an incredible story. And I started writing without thinking whether we were going to make a film, or it was just one of those things that I started writing. And as I wrote more and more, Nawaz felt that because it was such a surreal experience, then no one else would be able to make it as well that I would, because you have to get into the psyche of the story and that sort of mold. So as I wrote more, we discussed more, we felt that, okay, let's go ahead and do this together. And that's how it actually happened. And then, of course, my producers came on board, my other actors, my Italian partners, my DOP, lot of people, my music director, my sound designer, everybody one by one, like really came on board and they became a part of the team. But it just happened.
Yeah, but you told me that story which happened to you in real life, which took place in Venice. But why then Rome and not Venice?
So as I started writing, I just, so initially the reason I shifted it to Rome was because landscape wise, Rome was giving me a much wider scope. Venice sort of, it's an initial feel that you have of that landscape, and after that it's the same. Whereas Rome was giving me a lot more diversity in terms of the landscape. But then as I went into research of more, because, of the beginnings of feminism, because I mean, my film is also like sort of very deeply rooted into the feminist movement during the Renaissance. And so the contribution that women artists had to the Renaissance in that period of Italian history, that started fascinating me. And a lot of those artists were actually based out of Rome. And that's why I moved the story there. It slowly started brewing in my mind in a different way. But the genesis of it was that particular incident in Venice.
Will you tell us the incident actually?
No, because the film is now, we were supposed to release the film theatrically in July, okay, which now I don't think is going to happen. And so it's going to be on a platform very soon. The final negotiations are in process. So I have to keep it a secret till it comes out.
Yeah, I think it's going to keep me interested in that story. So I'm definitely going to watch it when it's available. Yeah.
Yeah, and Raman, you have a few more questions to Rome Mine.
Exactly. Now, so I mean, my question initially was it the location that inspired the name, or was it the name that inspired the location? But I think you already explained that. I think one very important question here from you as a director. I mean, you are the mindset behind that movie that you are trying to bring to the people. So what kind of key message you would like the people to take away from this movie when they watch it, or what should they keep in their mind when they are taking a look at this movie?
So Rome, the title, as it suggests, it has a pun with words of Rome and, roaming in Rome and that sort of a thing, but it means Rome, what it means in Hindi. Mere Rome, every inch of my being. It actually, the meaning of the film is that. And it is about patriarchy. It's about the deep-rooted macho-ness that we have that is there in men and women because of our upbringing. And sometimes we're not even aware of it. So Nawaz's character is somebody like that, who's brought up in a very, very patriarchal mindset. And he is a patriarch. But
Hello? We have lost Tannishtha.
Yeah, it looks like some internet problem. Maybe it'll come back. Yeah. But I think it's a very interesting discussion that we are having with her, and especially this movie Rome Mein. I mean, it's really nice. I read a little bit about it on the internet, and it's really compelling, and people should definitely watch it. I'm looking forward to watching it myself.
Okay, we need to connect to Tannishtha. I will write her a short message.
Yeah. But in the meanwhile, if the people who are on the live stream with us, I mean, we can talk a little bit about Rome Mein. I mean, the hero there is Nawazuddin Siddiqui, And the movie is shot in Rome, as we said. So some really nice locations to look forward to. And it has been actually also screened at some film festivals, and there have been a very positive response to the movie again. So yeah, definitely look forward to it and watch it as and when it comes on the platforms what Tanishta was talking about.
Okay, I'm just writing here.
Yeah. I think Tanishta had the chemical background. If she had an IT background, this problem would not have happened. So this is missing. Definitely, we would suggest her to take up probably the IT side as well. Yeah, but I mean, it happens. It's technology, and yeah, I think she's joining back again.
Okay, Tanishta, so we have lost you. You just started to explain about.
Yeah. Sorry, just I don't know. There was some problem with the.
We just said maybe you should have taken with chemistry a little bit of IT as well, and then it might not have happened. Yeah.
I have taken. That's exactly why I fixed it in the lockdown, because these guys don't come.
Nice. Now we can continue from there. So we were talking about the movie Rome Rome Mein, and the key message you were talking about the background behind it. Yeah, please.
So the film is about a brother coming to Rome in search of his missing sister. Nawaz plays the brother and I play the sister. And through his journey in Rome, he meets a number of interesting characters, and he also finds things about the sister which baffles him. And he understands who that real she was. He realizes that it's not the person that the family knew that she was. And in that process, he also realizes how deeply patriarch, what a deep patriarch he was. He thought that he's different. He's moved away from his father's patriarchal ideas, but actually it wasn't so. So it's a journey of his own self-realization, as well as his coming to terms and accepting the way and who his sister was.
Yeah. Thank you, Stefan.
Yeah. So I didn't get actually. You said it, but I didn't get it really. So what is the English title, or what is the translation of Rome Rome Mine? Because my Hindi is so limited.
So the English title is Every Inch of My Being.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So that will be the title where for the publishing, worldwide publishing, then also.
Yes.
But Rome Rome Mai is much nicer than Every Inch of My Being.
The thing is that Rome Rome Mein has that pun in Hindi, which has like Rome Rome Mein, but it also sounds very nice. But it actually means in my bloodstream, in my skin, in my breath, every inch of my being. So the film is about how every inch of his being was deep seated in patriarchy, and how every inch of his being changed. So mere Rome Rome Mein, my Rome Rome had that, and my Rome Rome Mein felt this, and now my Rome Rome Mein has shifted there.
Yeah. At least what I can say with that, you already got me hooked onto it. I'm definitely looking forward to the release here, and I'm gonna watch it. Yeah.
And so you just said that there are negotiations to bring it to the platform. That means there is. What about the theatrical then?
I don't know. I'm not the producer of the film. I just wrote and directed it. I think theatrical release is very difficult now, because people don't know how people would, especially in India, how the audience would react to going to cinemas once it opens up, because most people are paranoid and they would probably avoid going to crowded places, or one really doesn't know how it's going to work out. So a lot of producers are thinking that maybe it's a better idea to sell it to a platform and like skip it, though my film is a film for the cinemas. Because I made a very cinematic film. It's not only because of the visuals, but it's the sound design, it's the music, which is very cinema.
But you know, in Germany, we had this, similar examples with some films, which, for example, one film which just started before the lockdown, and then it got a very good response, and then they couldn't continue. So for that film, they choose to put it on a platform. But now, after the lockdown, it will come back to the cinemas again. Also, so hopefully, maybe this is also possible.
So maybe, you know, territory-wise, yesterday actually somebody who's an Italian distributor asked me that, what about Italy? Do you want to like show it? Because I think Italy is slowly opening up theaters also, like open air theaters and things like that. We are planning a few screenings in Italy. There's an Indo-Italian month that's happening, and they have screenings of a few films and mainly an arts event through different cities throughout the month. And Rome Rome is one of the films that they really, really want. So, and
When
it'll
will
be,
that be? When will that be?
I think it'll start from mid of next month.
Okay, so mid June.
Mid June, yes.
Okay,
So
so
still, you know, my producers still have to say yes to it, because they have to still talk to the platforms and see, you know, how I don't know all this, like it's still in talks.
Yeah. And I mean, what I can say from Apna Frankfurt experience is we have a lot of Indians here in Germany as well. And the cinemas and theaters are opening up also slowly here. So really looking forward to also getting the movie here in Germany so that people can watch it the way you have pictured it, right? So you said you made it a theatrical movie, and we would like to also see it.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Raymond, you have also some more questions.
Yeah. So, well, I would now like to take you away a little bit away from Rome and move towards Sydney. Yeah. Now you know what I'm going to talk about, right? Yeah. Year 2016, movie Un-Indian. Yeah. I watched that movie. I watched you first time actually on the screen with that movie, and I simply loved it. Yeah. It's a romantic comedy movie with none other than Brett Lee being himself as your co-actor there, right? And you made an appearance also on the Kapil Sharma show with Brett Lee to promote this movie. Now, so how was your experience shooting this movie? I mean, you acted as an expat into that movie. And I mean, a lot of expats watching this interview would be able to connect with your feelings there. Maybe you would like to share a little bit about your experience there.
You know, it was beautiful. And Un-Indian, before Un-Indian, I had done 3 films which are like very heavy subjects with very strong and characters who are going through a lot of trauma in their lives. And Un-Indian was like a breath of fresh air, because my director took me to the most beautiful locations in Sydney and made me sit in front of Brett and say, okay, now both of you flirt. I'm like, wow. I'm in these beautiful cafeterias and yachts and stunning locations all across. And this wonderful, wonderful human being, apart from everything else. Like, Brett is a very dear friend now, and a lovely human being. I mean, we connected so well and we worked together so well. He's become like a friend for lifetime. And so I had a blast for 2.5 months. And Australia, you know, food is so, like, it's so good. The weather is so gorgeous. Our unit was just wonderful. It just got over too soon. And I told Anupam, you know, who is the director and producer of the film, once we finished filming, I'm like, oh my God, this should have lasted for long.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely feel that feeling coming out of the movie itself. I mean, the characters are having fun there, and I mean, to our viewers and listeners here, I would definitely recommend that movie. It's a very nice movie to watch. If you are sitting on a Saturday evening or a Sunday afternoon and thinking of watching a light comedy movie, Un-Indian is the movie to watch. My 10-year-old son, he's born in Germany. He has watched it and he loved it too. So from time to time, he says, "Let's go and watch it again." Yeah, so no, really, really nice movie.
I think we can fill a whole festival just with Tannishtha movies, huh? If you look at all, no, it's really, and I have read that you're the only Indian actress who has been on all 3 major festivals in films in 1 year. I don't know when it was. I think it was in 2000.
I think it was 2016 or something that I had a film in Venice. I had a film in Toronto. I had a film in Berlin. Yeah, I mean, I had a film everywhere basically. Yeah, I think it was 2000. I had two films in Toronto, one film in Venice, and one film in Berlin, I think, that year.
Mm. So maybe you can tell us a little more about your international experience, because I have read in an interview that you have said that Florian Gallenberger, the German director of Shadow of Times, that he has taught you the way of acting in front of a camera, because you have been to School of Drama. That is where your education background as an actress. But I guess there you learn more to act on a big stage for theater appearance. So what can you tell us about what changed with your meeting to Florian Gallenberger, and what about the difference then for acting in front for the big screen and acting for the audience in a theater?
So yes, Florian, I mean, Shadows of Time was one of my first few films that I did. And after coming from a drama background, yes, and Florian is a very, very good director with actors. He was an actor himself. I mean, he acted in many films as a child, so he understands those points. I call them the pressure points of where to push the actors. So he's fantastic with actors. And yes, with him I really got the hang of. He was one of the people. There are a few other teachers that I have who actually gave me the hang of how to transform that on screen, because the screen just captures everything and you have to be so truthful, and how to be that vulnerable in front of the camera. And he knows how to give you that tip, you know, push you where you find that. Because I mean, acting is a very personal art form, so all of us as actors, we have to find it for ourselves. But a good director, what a good director does is he pushes those right buttons where I find it for myself, you know. And he was definitely instrumental in doing that, and I had a wonderful, wonderful time working with him. And Shadows of Time was again the first film that I traveled with to various film festivals. Berlin, I came to Berlin for the first time. Not for the first time in Berlin city, but for the first time to the Berlinale Film Festival with Shatender Zaid, and to Toronto. And then many years later, I met Florian when I had two films in Toronto and he had a film there.
And how do you explain yourself that you connect so well to international directors or international films? Because you're really, it's very exceptional for an Indian actress. Most of your films, I think, are films with foreign directors or for the international audience. So how does it come to connect to that international, how can I say, international attitude or international uh, well-feeling, or however?
Yeah, I think I understand your question. I think it comes from the fact that as a child, I grew up in various parts of the world before we settled in Delhi. And I was like around 9 or 10 when we settled in Delhi. But that's actually quite a lot of exposure of, because I mean, my father was working for Sony Electronics, and, you know, then he traveled quite a bit. We were in Kenya, in Australia, London, and he was in Japan for some time. So all that sort of made me, my childhood life quite eclectic. And then right after National School of Drama also, I started traveling again. I spent a lot of time in Poland at that point of time. And then living in London for 5 years, I was also spending a lot of time in New York because it was closer and my sister lives there. So I think having a very eclectic childhood where we traveled quite a bit as a child as well, and then moving cities all the time and living across. I lived in London for 5 years. I've lived in Mumbai for so many years, in Delhi, spend a lot of time in New York, just coming and going, visiting. So I think, and then I have worked a lot with Australians and Australia, not only an Indian, but I have a long association with the Asia Pacific Screen Awards. I have been in their jury on multiple sections for different years. So I think it's it's just that. I think
Yeah.
it comes from my eclectic childhood, I
Yeah.
guess.
Stefan, just
Yeah,
just a
Raman.
short one here. You have mentioned so many cities around the world. Yeah, probably a mean question to you, but which is the favorite city where that you like? Yeah, now
Uh,
that has to be Berlin, I would say. Yeah.
See, I'll tell you, my favorite cities, I'll be honest. I love Berlin and I've been to Berlin a number of times. Like even when I was a student and just after, and I love the cultural scenario of Berlin. But I love Berlin only in the summer. I cannot take the cold. My reason for moving back to Bombay, to Mumbai after living in London for 5 years is I cannot take that weather. So my favorite, like I love so many things about New York, but once it hits October, I'm like, I have to come back.
Yeah.
So I mean, the reason I live in Mumbai is because of the weather.
Right. No, thank you.
My Amchi Mumbai is like, it just gives me everything because this is the weather that I mean, my body reacts the best to.
Thank you. Now, Stefan.
Yeah, so I would like to take the chance to ask the audience if there are questions from the audience. So we have a couple of people here joining us at Zoom. So please feel free if you have a question, type your question into the F&R, the question and answer field, which is on the bottom side of the Zoom software. Or you can also lift your hand and then we can also put you in with your question and you can ask your question directly. Yeah, so there are so many awards associated to you. So, for example, I don't know if that is an award, but this is a very nice one. The Princess of Parallel Cinema, that you're the Princess of Parallel Cinema. I found
That's
that.
not an award, that's just a tag that the media has given me.
But for example, Rome, Rome, Mine, you have won the Asia Star Award, correct? For the film.
Yes.
At
Yeah.
Busan International Film Festival. So at least one big festival you could make the world premiere in 2019. And I still have some hope that even though there are plans for a platform, that maybe because we have the little hope that we can have a online festival in Germany in summer, yeah, or
Okay.
somehow a festival.
Wonderful.
And so maybe there's a little chance to have you here. Also there, I tried to call Stuttgart this week because we also associate with them and exchange always, but I didn't get them. I don't know what their plans are, because it would be also nice if we could have a chance to play in Stuttgart, that you have at least a German premiere before it goes online. But we will see, we will see what happens there. But I guess you can't say a certain date, right? When it will be on the platform.
I can't. I know Stuttgart had gotten in touch with me, but I mean, I didn't have an answer because my producers are not willing to show it in any online festival as of now.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, they're okay if it's a physical festival. Like we've traveled to festivals, right? We've gone to, we went to Busan and then to Rome International Film Festival, and then Mumbai also, Mami. We played it here.
Yeah, but Stuttgart will be physical, I guess. So let's see how it turns out.
Yeah, I mean, if it's physical, then of course, yeah.
Raymond, you have another question?
Yeah, I mean, now Tanishta, 10 awards, over 10 awards actually. I mean, the earliest one being in year 2000.
I don't know. I don't have count.
Well, the earliest one being in year 2006. Yeah. So since then,
Remind me.
It was at the Ocean Film Festival
Yes.
as
For
the
being
best actress. Yeah. So, I mean, 14 years since the first award, and you have collected more than 10 awards in the meanwhile. Yeah. But as an actress, I mean, what is more important for you? Is it like the awards that you collect, or is it like how people connect with you? I mean, what exactly is important to Tanishta as an actress?
I mean, one doesn't work for awards. When it comes, it feels really nice. Especially when I got the National Film Award, it was because it's the most prestigious award. Every actor dreams of getting a national award.
Yeah.
It was really wonderful. But yeah, when I pick up a role, I mean, for me, it's really about the script, about who's directing it. Am I going to have fun with the team working? And is it a role that I have not played before? Is it interesting? Is it different? Is it something that would excite me because I've never done something like this? Like when I did this film called Lion, I had a very small role there. Even Nawaz had a very small role, but it was in a negative space. And the director Garth, who's again a wonderful director, and he said to me that, Tan, I've written this role for you, and I promise you, I've seen quite a bit of your work. You've never played anything like this, and no one's ever going to cast you as somebody who's evil. But my whole theory is evil does not necessarily have to look evil.
Yeah.
So I want that surprise. I was like, I loved that. I was like, yes. I mean, no one casts me in something which is evil. So let's explore that side. So I think it's always, it's always something that's interesting. I mean, I don't look for the awards, but yeah, I mean, I'm a human being, so when the awards come, I like it.
No, very honest answer there, I would say. Yeah, Stefan.
Yeah, but there are many films where you play a character, a very strong female character. I think that is something which is typical, and I guess what is connected to you as a public person, that you all, I don't know if you look for that actually, but it's what I would connect it to, angry Indian goddesses or Parched, and as you just told us, that Parched
Dr. Rahma, which played in your festival.
Yeah, Dr. Rahma Bai, same, sure. And always very strong female characters. If you could, if you have a wish free, what would be next?
Well, next, it's not about wish. The next is that I am directing the season 3 of 4 More Shots, Please.
I read about it.
Which is one of the most successful shows on Amazon Prime. And it's, I mean, people call it an answer to Sex and the City. So it's a very, very different kind of a show. Many people asked me that, Tan, are you directing this really? I'm like, yeah, it's fun, it's glamorous, but it's again about 4 really strong women. And so, yeah, even as a director, I think that's exactly what attracts me. They're opinionated, they make their mistakes, they are flawed, and they're beautiful, they're energetic, they're life. I love those characters. So I'm really looking forward to starting this now.
When was it originally planned, and when is it now planned? Are there already the new plans?
Now there are no plans. We can't plan. We don't know what's going to happen. But whenever the lockdown opens, we'll start planning. Originally, we were supposed to begin from the mid of March.
And this will be shot in Mumbai, correct?
Mostly in Mumbai. Mostly. Yes.
And you have mentioned in an interview that you should play in an English movie, or no, in a movie which is which will take place in London. Can you talk a little bit?
Yes. That also, is actually directed by an actor friend of mine, Anshuman Jha, and it's based on a German play. An adaptation, yes. Very interesting.
You know the German name of it?
I don't know the German name. I know the Hindi name only.
What is the English name? What would be the English
I'll
translation?
have to find out. I'll have to find out. So
What's the
that's
Hindi name?
the Hindi name is Haveli.
Means?
Yeah, just a sec. Let me.
Haveli, it's normally a place where so in the old times the rich people would live. So like it's not a castle, but somewhere which is like a home for rich people, I would say. Villa.
It's
Yeah.
an adaptation, yeah,
Thank
but
you,
it is an
Anjali.
adaptation of a German play actually, and so that's by a friend of mine who's an actor and he's making his first film. So we were supposed to do that, but again, we can't travel to London. We don't know anything about it now.
Yeah.
Okay, so press thumbs that it will be possible soon. Okay, I will have a look again to the audience. I just got the sign that, yeah, they also did the translation, Villa.
Yeah.
I don't know more about the place. Raymond, you have a more question? Because that have been my last ones about the future.
Yeah, I would like to actually ask one question because it's not a planned question that I had, but while I was listening to this interview, I mean, your stories, your movies, they have always a deep message in there. Yeah. So is it something that reflects who real Tannishtha Chatterjee is? I mean, how does it link with your character as such?
Well, yeah, I mean, in my personal life, I would like to believe I'm a very righteous person. I really believe in the rights and wrongs of life. And I am, I mean, there are many friends sometimes, they tell me that they're scared of saying or doing anything wrong in front of me because I'll instantly say, okay, that is not right. So my daughter's going to have a tough time, I think. So I think, yeah, it does come from there that it's not that I'm not a fun person. I am a lot of fun, I think, and I have a lot of. My film also has that. It has a lot of humor in it, and that's a comment that many people have made. And in fact, when we screened it in Mumbai Film Festival in Mummy, many of the audiences said that is this a dramedy. Because the humor, the way you break it with, so that is a part of my life. But yeah, I think that rights and wrongs are quite strongly there, like the political rightness.
Yeah. So I mean, a direct question there now. Has
Yeah.
Tanishta made it what she wanted to make, or is she still on the way? And if she's still on the way, where does she want to be?
I think I should die the day I feel that I've already done what I wanted to do. So it should never be that. I think I have to explore till the end of my life. Very early on in my career, I got to work with one of the icons of Indian stage and cinema as an actor, Zora Sehgal. I am sure you must be knowing about her. She was 90 and I was like 18, right? And we did this play together. And I mean, I was amazed at her performance, her commitment, her energy. She used to come prepared with her lines and everything at the age of 90. One day I asked her about something, and the next day I was picking her up to go to the rehearsal together. She lived very close to my home in Delhi. And she remembered that I had asked her that. She wrote it in a note. The first thing, she came into my car and she said, Tanishta, you asked me this. This is the answer. That's the name of the thing. I was like, my God, look at her. And at 90, she owned the stage. She came prepared on the first day of the blocking by learning all her lines. And us youngsters didn't do that. We thought we'll get to know it while we are rehearsing. So just having that privileged encounter with Zorappa, the late Zorappa, at such a young age, made me fall in love with the craft and the fact that, I mean, at 90, she stood on stage and she recited the poem called Abhi to main jawan hu and enjoyed herself. So for Stephen, that, Abhi to main jawan hu means that I'm still young and, I can enjoy all these things. At 90, she recited that poem and I looked at her and I said that I want to be like her. Nice. I want to do what I love doing till I have to like just die. You know, and when I played Dr. Rakhmabai and I studied her character, I felt the same thing. Dr. Rakhmabai lived till she was 91,
Mm.
and she worked as a doctor relentlessly till the age of 90. She used to go to the hospital every day. The last 1 year, she fell a little ill, and then, I mean, uh, but that's the commitment to her profession, to her life, to the cause that she lived. And just playing Dr. Rakhma by such an inspiring character, meeting Zora Appa so young, at such a young age, made me feel that, there's no stopping. You have to constantly reinvent, and the day you stop, you're dead.
Mm.
Yeah, agree. Stefan?
Yeah, I think slowly we have to come to an end because it's always about 1 hour. But I think we can talk with Tanishta for hours and hours. It's really very nice. And Tanishta, yeah, to make you more compliments, you're not only princess of parallel cinema, you're also the princess of Indo-German relation. Many visitors of Indo-German Film Week 2018, I think it was, remember your visit to Berlin, and actually it was summertime, at least that we made that you felt that you felt a little more well than during Berlinale time. And yeah, so Raymond, if you don't have any further questions, and I have a look, I think there are no further questions from the audience, then I would press thumbs that everything works well in the Corona situation. So hopefully you can start shooting again soon. So if you need any advice, so yeah, we're starting shooting here in Germany. We already started again, and next week we will have a discussion here at the German Academy of Television about what we have to look for, how does it work, and because it's actually especially for actors and actresses, is very difficult because how do you do a kiss scene and so on? You have to be tested before. How do you do that? Actually, I don't know if you know that, but for example, in sports, our Bundesliga, our first league or Premier League in Germany, they play since mid-May already, and they do it with testing because you can't play football without having touched the body of some other player.
Yeah.
So they do it with testing and with the quarantine system, so it works. So since then, they have already have 3 rounds with all the teams, and it works. So let's see. Okay, yeah. Tanishta, thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I would also like to thank on behalf of Apna Frankfurt, the viewers and listeners here. I mean, really a pleasure talking to you, Tanishta. And again, thanks to Stefan as well for inviting us to this call here. Really had fun and looking forward to staying in touch. And then again, on behalf of Apna Frankfurt, I would like to remind people, look forward to watching movie Rom Rom Mein. My personal favorite, Un-Indian, go and watch it. Amazing movie. Yeah, you will definitely love every minute of it. Yeah. With that, thank you, Tanishta, and thank you, Stefan.
Thanks so much. Absolute pleasure. Bye.
Bye. And surely we will announce it also on Indo-German Film Week Facebook page once it is out. It can be seen either on a platform or in the cinema. And I would like to invite everybody for our next week's session. We will talk with the director and with the producer of Nazir. I don't know if you're aware of it, but today starts a big festival, We Are One World, or One World Global Film Festival on YouTube. And there are 2 entries, feature films from India. There's Eid Ali-O, which will play, I think, tomorrow. And then there is Nazir, which will play on 6th of June, and we'll have a talk with the director and the producers on 5th of June. So please stay tuned. Hope to see you soon again, and hope to see you soon, Tanishta, and a big round of applause, please.
Yeah.
At least from 2 of us.
Thanks. Bye. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.